Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stu, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. So, we've had another Umarex delivery, and we also have some new products from that delivery. So, we thought we'd get all three of them out and just have a little look through of what they are, what they're capable of, and what they can do. So as we're going through this, if you've got any question on anything I cover or have covered, just drop your question down. We'll flash it up on screen and we'll make sure that you get your question answered as quickly as possible. So today we've got a new Bretta, a new Glock, and a new USP style platform called the P8. So we'll start with the Bretta. So this is Umarex's answer to the in a line of CO2. So CO2 magazine, you do get the Allen key with it. So you undo the little cap at the bottom. When you are using CO2 platforms, guys, we've had a few back where people have screwed these in wrong. So when you are adding CO2 to your magazine, make sure it is flush and flat before you try to screw it down. Otherwise, you're going to cross-thread things. It doesn't look like it's a common... Jack Jordan on Facebook. These look dope. Yes, there's some really cool... some cool tricks with these things. They're definitely fun to shoot on the range and down the chrono. I'll go on to the Bretta's power in a minute. But yes, so with CO2, just be aware that that is a possible, and the mag spring inside this is incredibly strong. So when you are trying to fill this up, you do have to put it all the way down, and there is a little hole at the bottom of the mag that you put BBs into. It can be a bit awkward, but once you've got this loaded up with BBs, it is very, very cool. When we got this, we were slightly worried as it had a 1.3 jewel sticker on the side of it, but we stuck a bulb in it, put it through the chrono, and it came out about 337. So it is well under the 350 limit, so this is going to be fine to use. The noise, the volume of this thing is just terrifying. Running this thing in CQB, I think a lot of people are probably going to take the hits just from the noise of this thing. It is so loud and a lot of fun. What that means as well is because it is so snappy and sort of return to battery so quickly, the sort of follow-up shots on this are so clean and so accurate. It is an absolute monster. It does have a 40mm thread on the front. I believe it is 40mm, yes, underneath the thread cover. But what we also have is some very, very bright, clean, nice iron sights. So white dot on the front, two white dots on the back. Once they are lined up in a straight line, you'll be on target, and it is a very, very accurate, nice, clean platform. Safety-wise, all the way to the back, you have this little lever here. When that is down, it is ambidextrous for the safety. When that is down, it locks the trigger out, and you're good to go. Slide release and everything like that is standard with Brettas. You press the button across, move the lever down, and the slide will come completely off, allowing you to do maintenance and everything like that. With CO2 being quite a dry gas, it is very important to keep on top of maintenance with CO2 platforms. You do have the little 20mm Riz rail underneath, so if you are wanting to put a torch or anything on this, the X300, any laser or like that will just drop straight on here. Looks really neat, nice and tidy, but again, if you've also got the ability to put a tracer unit on this. Obviously, the big thing that you can tell is it's tan. We've not had many tan Brettas before. I believe that this is probably leading into, I believe there was something to do with US military having a new platform a while ago, and this was one of the contenders to be it, and hence why it's tan, but I think they went with something else. But this is still a one-to-one replica of the M9A3. With it cocked, it is almost like a two-stage trigger, so you can pull the trigger and force the hammer to roll back and fire, but when it is cocked, the trigger does come back a bit and becomes a bit more of a hair trigger. But yeah, grip-wise, it's really nice, it's really solid. I'm not normally a fan of Brettas, but after firing this, it may have to find its way into my arsenal at some point. It's very, very cool. For a CO2 platform to be so consistent at a gameable level is very, very cool. Normally, there's a lot of CO2 platforms that the first or second shot are over the FPS limits, but this was just absolutely perfect at 337. Any other colours? Currently, no. I believe there are other Umarex Brettas out there in black, but the M9A3 is only available in tan, and it's almost like a 3-color tan. So the slide, the grip, and the receiver and the barrel are slightly different shades, and it's just the way that they've decided to put this together. In the box, you will get the correct Allen key for the CO2 bit at the bottom. And one other feature before I forget is it does have a sort of widened and extended magazine release. But what normally happens with these is these can foul up on holsters and everything, but they've kind of hidden it inside a little cutout. So they've definitely thought about that, and it is a well thought out platform, and its controls are really, really nice. One that we've had a few requests for, asking when we are going to get it, is the Glock 19. So almost like a thinner, smaller Diddy version of the 17. It's sort of slightly thinner, narrower, and a bit more of a standard carry. Instead of having a full 20mm, it just has a single slot on the bottom for the 20mm rail. So you are slightly limited with where you can mount things, but it's either on or off. With the 3 slots that you have on the Beretta, you have a slight choice of where a torch can sit if you want it to sit further forward. With this, it slides all the way on, locks into place, and you are good to go. There's no threads on the 19, so it is as is. This is purely a platform to sit in a holster, draw, use, and put away. But again, the reliability of these, the consistency of FPS is absolutely exceptional, and it's got a very hefty, nice recoil as well for such a small little platform. The magazine, again, it is a green gas magazine with this, but slightly differently. There is no hole in the bottom. You do have to pull the spring up a little bit, slide the base plate off a little bit, fill it up with gas, make sure the gas equalizes correctly between the tin and the magazine, and then you can fill it up with BBs. Slightly better design compared to the Beretta is the wider space in the mag is close towards the top of the magazine, so you don't have to pull up the spring all the way down. You can just pull it down a little bit and start getting BBs in, making it a lot easier to load, and the mag spring is nowhere near as strong as the Beretta. The Beretta will probably be able to handle, feed, and be more consistent with extreme heavyweights. This is probably better for your sort of 2.5s, 2.8s. And again, in a pistol, 2.5, 2.8s is perfectly fine. Optics on this, again, just standard Glock iron sights with the white dot at the front and the sort of squared U at the back. Once you've got them lined up, you'll have a clear sight picture and you are good to go. All the markings on this are legit. So you've got the Glock, the 19, the Austria, and the 9x19 on the left-hand side. For maintenance with this, you see there's a very, very small switch here. You have to pull both of these down, rack it with the magazine out, and the slide will come off, meaning you can do all your maintenance, clean your barrel, and just make sure there's no gunk and stuff in there. So moving on for the 19, we come on to the P8, which is probably my favourite out of these three. It's probably about the same weight, if not a little bit lighter than the Beretta. The Beretta is definitely the heaviest, coming in at, I think it's just over 1 kilo maybe, is the Beretta whilst unloaded. This is a little bit under that. So the P8 is on the sort of same platform as the USP. Just sort of a slightly different shape and caliber when it comes to its real steel counterpart. Optic wise, again, iron sights, you've got the dot at the front and 2 dots at the back, and you have all the markings that you'd expect from the Umarex stuff. You've got the HK, the P8, the A1, and the 9x19 on the left, and you have the 9x19 on the breech as well. So controls on this, your slide lock and return to battery is on the left, again with the safety as well. The safety on this works slightly different. Flynn on YouTube, which of these is the best for a beginner for Airsoft? Absolutely any of them. So when it comes to a beginner Airsoft, anything is totally fine. Just factor your budget in. It's not a case of this is better than this or this is better than this. The best thing for you to get when you're starting is whichever one of these you like the look of best. There is no best starter platform when it comes to AEG pistols or anything like that. The best thing that you can get is the one that you like the look of most. Because at the end of the day, you want to like the thing that you're carrying, whether or not it's the best platform in the world or anything like that. So the safety on the P8, you have an F and an S. So when this is cocked and the hammer is back, if you pull it down, all that does is drop the hammer forward, turning it into a two-stage trigger. Once you then fire it and the slide rolls back, it will then recock it, and it is good to go. Magazine release on this. Paul Eastwood, is there any difference between the 19 and the 19X? Yes. So I'll just quickly come back to the 19. So the 19X, as you can see the size of it here, the 19. The 19X is slightly bigger. The lower receiver, I believe, is the same, but the 19X has a slightly longer slide and is tan. I don't know if the 19X does come in black. It may do. I may be wrong. It's just what's whirling around in my head at the moment. But I do believe the 19X is all available in tan. And again, that was the competitor against the Bretta for the US military contract. Slightly longer, but still a squashed down lower receiver. So I think it's basically the same as the 19, just extra long. And I presume that's what the X stands for. Sam, what is the mag compatibility with other Umarex Glocks? As far as I'm aware, the 19 is slightly shorter than the 17. So the shortest mag will fit in this. That means that all the others should fit in here. We will do a full comparison and test all the ones that fit in everything. But if the mag is bigger or longer, it will still fit in this. It's just this will not fit inside a 17 or an 18, if that makes sense. So, coming back to the P8, you will see that there is what looks like a rail system on the front in here, but it's not the same. It's not a 20mm, so you can't just drop a torch or anything like that on here. It does need an adapter, or specifically the LAM unit that can go on this. It clamps on, screws in place, and is fixed. There are lots and lots of aftermarket bits that allow you to adapt a 20mm rail to it to put any standard bit that you want on there, but out the box, it is very limited on accessories that go on here. Grip-wise, if you've held the USP and the Mark 23 from Umarex before, the lower receiver is very, very similar. The grip is very, very comfy, but I was on about the mag release, which is found underneath the trigger guard here, and again, it's on both sides. You can use your index finger or your thumb, you press it down, and the magazine comes out. Again, mag compatibility wise, the P8 needs P8 mags. I think there is a slight difference in the top end. Not exactly sure, but we will make sure it is in all the descriptions. But if there are people just joining us, I'll quickly do another quick overview of what we've covered. If you've got any questions about what we have touched on already, please drop them down below, and we will cover them as soon as we can. So the Bretta M9A3 is brand new to us from Umarex, and this is a CO2 platform, meaning that you need the bulbs to go into the bottom. You do get the Allen key to drop straight into it. And we were slightly worried when this first turned up because it had stickers saying 1.3 joules all over it, but we have put a bulb in it, we have tested it, and it sits around 337 and then drops off. So at no point was this ever hot on the chrono, and one bulb will get you probably 3-ish mags worth of BBs out of it, which is excellent for a good sidearm. The colour is quite unique. I've never really seen, this is obviously based on a military contract, so the colour is, the 3 colours is because that's what they've asked for, and this is what they produced to try and get it. You do have a 14mm thread and a 20mm rail on it, so all your accessories will fit straight on this. It is very heavy without that on it, so if you are going to start loading this thing up, it is probably going to be a bit of a primary. Are these currently on the website? These are currently on the process of getting on the website, so by the time this video is finished or by the end of today, most of these will be on the website and ready to go. So, features on this: slide lock is on the left-hand side. The safety is the 2 bars at the top that once that's down, it locks it out, and you do have standard iron sights on this with a dot at the front and 2 dots at the back. The Glock 19, it's like the Diddy thinner, smaller brother of the 17. A bit more of what they'd call a daily carry, a bit lighter, a bit easier, and in 9x19, but obviously 6mm. So again, with this, you have a dot and a white U, squared off U at the back for your optics. And I will state one thing with all the Umarex Glocks is as soon as you fire it once, you will start getting scratches on the breech here, because the way that Glocks work is as the slide come back, it pushes the barrel down. There is a chamfer there, so the slide has to chamfer up the barrel. It is going to scratch, and it's just part of the design. It is meant to do that, but if you do get these, fire it a couple of times and you start getting scratches on there, it is completely normal. And again, if you get one out of the box and it has 1 or 2 on there, it's because it's been tested to make sure it's working before it comes to you. Slide lock on this is on the left-hand side, and mag release on the left as well, that when you push, it drops out. I do believe the mag release can be swapped to left-handed. The slide lock can't. To take the slide off, you have a little button here. You pull both sides down, rack it without the mag in. The slide comes off, allowing you to do all your maintenance that you need to do. Again, I'll say it again, the P8 is definitely my favourite here. Firing this thing, it is very, very cool. Again, there's no threads on this one, same with the 19, so you are pretty much as is, and the rail system on the bottom here is not 20mm. You will need an adapter to put any standard torch or laser device on it. Mag release you'll find on the trigger guard. Pressing it down drops the mag. Slide lock on the left hand side, and again, safety on this is a decocker, not a true safety. So when you rack it, you press the safety down, the hammer comes forward, and it turns it into a 2-stage trigger. Iron sights on this, very, very bright white, single dot at the front and 2 at the back. And again, all the markings on this are as accurate as you can be, being a 1-to-1 that it is. It does have a oversized and very, very large trigger guard, so going into winter months and everything like that, this is still going to perform. So if you are wearing quite thick gloves or anything, they're all going to fit in there, and you're still going to be able to perform with this very, very easily. So if that is everything, we've covered quite a lot there. Thanks very much for all the questions and everyone joining in. But that we've covered all the new stuff. There are loads more Umarex bits coming. There's more bits on the website, so just keep your eye out if this is the stuff that you want to look at. And just be aware, if you are around on YouTube or Facebook at about 3 p.m. tomorrow, we are going in for our AQA. We have an absolute astronomical list of questions to answer. So if you want to join in the conversation and jump on and start asking more, we're more than happy to sit and have a chat about anything airsoft, anything patrol base. What do you want to know about us, and where things are going in the future, stock, upgrades, absolutely anything. Just come in and we'll try and answer everything that we can. Do you know when the Umarex MP7 will be back in stock? So there are 2 Umarex MP7s. We currently have the 0.5 dual AEP, and then we have the 1 dual AG on the way. The gas one is also on the way, but I don't know exactly when it's turning up. Hopefully this week. We are expecting a lot more Umarex this week, and that includes all 3 of the MP7s. But there's 2 electric, 1 gas, and we hopefully have them all back in stock this week. If it's not this week, the delivery might arrive this week, but it might not get processed until early next week. So just hit that email back in stock button on the product, and as soon as it hits our warehouse, you will be notified. It's the fastest way to get notified. You can ask us all day, but it's going to be quicker for you to just hit that little blue button and get an email when it turns up. But if that's everything, it's great to speak to you. We will be back again tomorrow. So tomorrow's live stream is at 3 p.m, not 4 p.m, so we can have it a little bit longer, and you can jump in and ask any question you want. And if we are able to, where we're sat, we will try and answer it to our best of our ability. But until then, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.